Repetition makes your LARP a reality. And I hope I didn't lose you with that. You are genuinely the sum of the five people that you compare yourself to, the people that you're having conversations with. The neuroplasticity of your brain genuinely changes the composition of your body to become the person that you're trying to be. And if you're speaking often to the type of person that's living the lifestyle that you want, you become that person. Now, it is kind of scientific, but also like kind of biblical. Like, you know how like, prayers are kind of like manifestations. You have to pray many times. Well, some religions you pray many times a day. But when you're praying, you're literally changing the composition of your cells to become something else. You're transforming. And, it's neurological. So it's not just, whoop de woo magic and all that. It's scientific. And you know once you start doing it, you won't believe it actually until you actually start doing it and you actually start changing genuinely. And I wanted to make a video about the word genuinely because I feel like there's like a loss for the meaning of words. you know Genuinely is the new literally. And how often when people use the word literally, were they talking about something literal? Okay. Now everyone wants to start using genuinely. You know, Sometimes people slur the word genuinely and it sounds like generally, and generally is a whole different word. That's off topic. Um, but what I'm saying right now is genuine. The last few conversations that I've been having these last few months have been life changing for me. I'm at a pivotal point in my life where my life can completely change depending on, the next few choices that I make in my life. And I insert myself in the life that I've always foreseen for myself. And, a dream starts with a vision. And the next step is turning that vision into reality. You can't get that reality until you start LARPing. LARPing, live action role playing is what the kids are saying these days. But you do have to LARP a little bit. You have to be a little delusional in order for your dreams to succeed. And, I could envy the people that are just like content with just like the life that they're given. They believe that, the goal of having a great life as opposed to just a good life is so unachievable that it's not even worth trying. And, I know if you're watching this video right now, I know you're a trier, a doer, and then eventually a succeeder. And if I could tell you guys exactly how these conversations that I've been having have been going, you know, it would be put you two on rails to the path that I'm going on. And I don't want to do that. We're all different. One math equation won't always fit another. My math equation might be different from yours, depending on what position you are. And I'm not too well off, so I kind of relate to like most people that probably click this video. But you know I know that the place that I am in life is where it all starts. It's where you know I can differentiate myself from, the rest of society. And I've always, you know, the path to the great life, it's perfect for the weirdos. It's perfect for the people that have already been outcasted as a weirdo to society. Because it involves going against the grain and doing what other people aren't doing, going in the path less traveled. And it also involves not having any training wheels. You're ready to, stop relying on the normal advice that is given to everyone else. You know, we've all went to school, we all have the same public education system. Why aren't we all just living this great successful life that we foresee ourselves living? It's because, they only give you the tools for the good life. They don't give you the tools for the great life, the succulent, you know, welcome to the good life. When T Pain that made that song, he should have called it the great life, not the good life. But Um, yeah, and things are weirder than ever, especially with the economy. Um, Things are getting real strange. The traditional path is not working anymore. We have to find the new path to how we want to succeed in this life. And, that involves, breaking the rules, not doing what anyone else does. And, um, you know, those people are living content with, mediocrity. And if you clicked on this video, you're not content with the mediocrity. If you're like me, that's the kind of audience that I want to generate. And that's why I stopped making videos, because if I kept on making videos about, every step in the path, I feel like, you guys would be using my videos as a crutch. And I don't want anyone with using my words as a crutch. You don't need that. You need to generate the ability to build the environment that you want for yourself. And that's also why I stopped streaming on Twitch like a few years ago. I was playing video games on Twitch, and it felt like I was like poisoning my audience, because all they were watching me was play video games, and I was generating an audience, but I didn't feel good about the content that I was making. And that's why there's like such a big gap with what I made. Also, I lost my pocket DJI camera, and maybe that was a sign for me to like just stop making videos, but I'm getting back into making videos because that my life is at the pivotal moment. And if I did not document this point in my life, if when I tell this story to my kids, they probably wouldn't even believe me. They would say, "Dad, you got it easy. You, got lucky." But, luck is when, you know, preparation meets opportunity. Realistically, I prepared for this moment, and when this moment came, I was ready for it. And, the conversations that I've had with the people that I want to be like, they see something in me that, before the steps, the choices that I've made in the life that I'm taking currently, I couldn't see before. But if they see something in me and they're living, that life, that succulent life that I'm trying to live, and when you get to this point of life, you find people that do want, you know, regular people to succeed. It's just most people aren't receptive to the advice because they think that everyone who got to the top just got lucky. And, my ability to make these kind of videos and document this journey is living proof that it isn't just luck that gets you to where you want to be. And, you know, Um, I think that's all I really had to say. But yeah, look out for more videos. I'm going to be traveling to Poland soon, so I'm going to be documenting more of my my travel videos about going to Poland, because I say it in all my videos, you got to change your environment. You got to work those neuroplasticity receptors in your brain to, make your body used to the life that you want to live. Um and I don't think people do that enough. People just they're given a zip code and think they have to accept that zip code. And I'm a door kicker. I may seem like it most of the time, because you have to sort of stay in the fray. You have to pretend like you don't see the matrix sometimes when you're living life. When you're at your job, your 9 to 5, sometimes, you gotta tune out your employees. Like, you gotta pretend like you don't know the things that you know. But I'm the place where, my videos, my comment section, you guys could let out all the things that you know. And, you'll genuinely find a community of people that, they're on that same wavelength. They're on that timing, not everyone in your life is on that timing. If you give them the information that you think, will help them succeed, because you foresee the path where you make it in life, and basically you want you want to let down the ladder and be like, "Yo, climb the ladder. We're trying to get up out of here." And they don't want to climb the ladder. Sometimes you just got to be like, sometimes the advice isn't for everybody. And that's probably one of the hardest part of this journey is, maybe not everyone was, meant for this advice. Maybe they'll kind of regret not taking the advice when they see how you're living later. And s- at that point, you just got to be like, it's too late. But yeah, um, more updates from me in the future. Look out for more travel videos soon. Going to Warsaw, Poland is going to be a stacked schedule for that. So yeah, hopefully I get some good footage over there. And yeah, hope you guys tune in for my next videos and see you guys later.